earlier, we discussed one of the classification of variables according to the continuity of values. And that is discrete variables. Now, in continuation or in the continuation of our lesson, we are now be dealing with continuous variables, which is the second classification of variables according to the continuity of values. So, in order for us to define or to discuss continuous variables, let us consider the following variables. Let's say we have the variable temperature. Okay, let's have the variable weight, the variable money, the variable length, then we have the variable time, and the variable age. Now, using this set of characteristics or using these variables, let us try to identify some possible values. So, let's say that possible values, let's say by using a thermometer for temperature, we measured a possible value of 32.02 degrees Celsius. Okay, then let's say for weight, using a weighing scale, we obtained a possible value of 64.31 kilograms. In terms of money, let's say by using a money tracker, just like we have in PayPal apps and GCash apps, money tracker, let's say we measured a total amount of 287 pesos and 17 centavos. Now, let's say by using a ruler or meter stick, we measured a length of, let's say, 9.15 inches. Okay? Then we have, let's say, by using a stopwatch, we measured a total time of 18.36 seconds. And lastly, let's say, by using a calendar, we measured our age or a certain age at 17 and a half years. Okay? So with this example, how can we define continuous variables? Okay. So let's first have its first definition. So remember that in discrete variables, we obtain the data by means of counting. Now, in continuous variables, however, can we say that Celsius, kilograms, the amount of money in peso, inches, let's say time in seconds, and age in years can be counted? Can we count them through the use of our fingers? Of course, obviously, the answer is no. So, meaning to say, these variables or the possible values for continuous variables are obtained by means of measurement. Okay? And these measurements are actually aided by what? How did we measure the temperature? How did we measure the weight? How did we measure the money? How did we measure the length, the time, the age? Of course, we use different tools and instruments. Okay? So that is the main essence of continuous variables. They are obtained through measurements aided by some tools and instruments. Okay? Next. So, in continuous variables, notice these following symbols. We have degrees Celsius, we have kilograms, we have peso sign, we have inches, we have seconds, and we have years. So meaning to say, if continuous variables are obtained through measurements, their possible values has units. Okay? Their possible values contain units. So that is continuous variables. Now, in terms of expression, okay, in terms of expression, how did we express these values? Okay, if in discrete variables, we express values through whole numbers only, in continuous variables, the possible values are expressed by means of what? Expressed in decimals and fractional numbers. Okay, as we can see in our example. So, temperature expressed in 32.02, weight is expressed in 64.31, money is expressed in 287.17, length is 9.15, time is 18.36, and the age is 17 and 1/2 year. And this is a fraction. Okay? So, meaning to say, continuous variables are those variables that are obtained through measurement and has units that can be expressed in decimals and fractional values. Now, if continuous variables are expressed in decimals and fractional numbers, can we say that is it finite or infinite? So, contrary to discrete variables, continuous variables are actually infinite in nature. The possible values are infinite. Okay? So, that is the main essence of continuous variables. However, let us clarify some things. Okay? Let us have some other, let's say, examples. So, let's have this additional knowledge when it comes to continuous variables. Okay. So, let's say for instance, okay, let's assume that we have money. And this money we have, we measure it through counting of coins. Now, these coins amounted to 15 pesos. Okay? Can we say that 15 peso, the amount 15 peso, is it still a continuous variable or not? Okay? Obviously, it is still a continuous variable. 15 peso is still, okay, or money in 15 peso is still a continuous value or continuous variable. How so? Even though the number 15 is a whole number, we still have uncertain digits. Okay? We can still have decimal values. Okay? So, let's say for instance, this Philippine peso of 15 pesos is converted into dollars. And this dollars is reconverted into peso. So, with this conversion of money, 15 peso can have some certain values. Let's say 15.7 centavos. And this uncertain value is unknown or it is not countable in nature. It is measured through means of conversion. So, meaning to say, there are still uncertain digits. Okay? So, also, we measured the amount of money still. Okay? Even though we counted the coins, we still measured the money because coins are actually instruments in which we measure money alongside bills. Okay? So, as an additional knowledge, okay, there are two main components of measurement. Okay? So, let us have the two main components of measurement. Since continuous variables are obtained through measurement, let us know the two main components of measurements. So, we have two. Okay? We have actually two main components of measurements. And those are the uncertain digits and the precise digits. So, what are the uncertain digits and what are the precise digits? So, let us have this example. Let's say, let us have this weight, okay, of 64.31 kilograms. So, the uncertain digits in this specific possible value is actually the 31. While the precise digits, okay, while the precise digits in this certain value is actually the number 64. So how can we define uncertain digits and how can we define precise digits? Uncertain digits, okay, uncertain digits are those digits that cannot be counted with the use of fingers. And these digits appear after the decimal point. Okay? So, let us try to add that. Okay? So, let us have another sheet so that we can define uncertain digits and precise digits. Okay? So, we have uncertain digits. Uncertain digits. Okay. So, these are uncertain digits are not countable through fingers. Okay? And they appear after the decimal point. So, the uncertain digits are actually the decimal values. Okay? Another term is the decimal values. Whereas, precise digits, however, okay, precise digits are the digits that are actually the whole number. Okay? And they are the digits that appear before the decimal point. Okay? So, to recap once more, continuous variables are those variables that can be obtained through measurement aided by tools and instruments. And they cannot be counted solely through fingers. They have units and they are expressed in decimals and fractional numbers. So, meaning to say they are infinite. And since continuous variables are obtained through measurement, there are two main components of measurement. We have the uncertain digits and the precise digits. The uncertain digits pertains to the decimal values, while the precise digits pertains to the whole number that is accompanied by the decimal value. So that is the main essence, or that concludes our discussion dealing with the classification of variables, okay, according to the continuity of values. Now that we are done with these two types or these two classification of variables, we are now ready to proceed to the further classification of variables, and that is the different levels of measurement.